All right, folks. So here we are with a house. I've got the land turned off just because it annoys me, but with a side wall on the left and a side wall on the right. And today we're going to get started with the front and back walls. We'll do the front wall first. So let's get started. First of all, we need to know that this is a butt wall because it is butted between these two walls that exist. So even though the house is 42 feet long, that wall is going to be 42 feet minus the 3.5 on one end and the other 3.5 on the other end. So it's going to be 7 inches total less. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make a new plate. And it's going to be ridiculously long and something that you can't actually purchase for, but for in the virtual world, we get to do stuff we don't get to do in the real world. So go back to your plates and sills tab where we have those plates, and we're going to create one more. So turn back on the sketch because remember we made a bunch of things there. So we're going to turn back on this sketch and I'm going to make another plate. We're going to extrude. Choose one of the ones you haven't used. I'm going to flip it around the other direction. And I'm going to go this time. Now, this is going to be a little different this time. My distance is going to be, I'm going to put in parentheses that I'm going to do, it's 42. Whoops, that would be, let's try that again. It's going to be 42 times 12 because that is the, it's 42 feet. Asterisk, remember, is multiplying times 12, okay, in the parentheses minus 7, because remember, I'm putting it in between those two walls. And good, okay? All right, so it's going to be longer than that first one we made. Again, you can't buy that, but that's okay. Let's turn off the sketch now. It made part 4 down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to call that plate 42. Now, even though it's not 42 feet, we'll just still call it plate 42 because it's for the 42-foot wall. So I'm going to rename it plate 42. And I'm going to make it the same color as the rest of them. So I need to kind of go up to one of the other ones and say edit appearance just to see which one it is. It's that one. So I'm going to go edit appearance. And it was this one. So check what the others are, make it the same and good. And now we've got a plate and we are ready to go and start the wall. There's going to be some other things that we're going to have to do, but let's go ahead and get started anyway. All right, so we're going to have to make a new assembly now. A new assembly. Now, let's call that assembly. We have left wall, right wall. Let's call this front wall. Oops, right click, rename. I'm going to call it front wall. Enter. Okay, and we're going to insert. Now we've got all this stuff in here, and in plates and sills is our plate 42. We're going to put 3 of those in. One, I'm going to put a couple kind of up here, up towards the top. And then another one sort of down here. Okay. And then I need to go to I'm going to collapse that. And let's go to studs. And I'm going to put in my stud 92. I'm going to put in 2 of those. 1 and 2. All right. Good. We're ready to start building the basic wall. Now, just because I feel like it, I'm going to take this part and just rotate it around. Boy, that's hard to see. Okay, that way. 90 degrees. Just to kind of see it flat to my vision. And like we've done before, we're going to put a stud on the end. I'm not going over how to use these connectors anymore because at this point you should know how to do it. You just got to know which corner you're putting in which place. You got to think about that ahead of time. And hopefully I did it right. If I didn't, undo is your friend. And I didn't quite do it the way I wanted it to do it. So I'm going to undo that. Again, you got to think about it a little bit. Okay, let me try that again. I think I'll do this front face. That'll be a little easier. There we go. Whoops, I don't know how I connected that. I didn't mean to. All right, got to start over again. Sorry you're having to watch Mr. Clapflail here, but you know what? When I tell you guys undo is your friend, undo is my friend too. There's one. Okay, now I'm going to go to this one. I got to make sure that that little guy is facing outward. There we go. Oh, I forgot one thing. I got to flip that around. There we go. So it's sticking up. And good. Now what happened is it flipped it around the way I didn't like it. So I'm actually going to undo that again and show you what I should have done in the first place. Here's what I should have done. I should have taken this after I moved it to the place that I wanted it to be. Hover over here until you see it. There, it's that one. And I'm going to fix that in place. Okay. Now it won't move around like it just did. So we're doing a lot of undoing. That's okay. That's important that we do make mistakes because that's how we learn. Okay, now I can start moving things around. Now I think that if I choose this one first, it'll move this to that piece, but I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to try this again. Let's get it to, come on, get to what I want. There we go. And over here, get to what I want. There we go. Yeah, it moves the second piece to the first piece, I believe. Now, this may look like it's wrong, but it's just because I need to flip it around. There we go. I used this to revolve around. It was going on the wrong main axis. And we are good. Okay. Now that we're going to do this second one, I'm going to do basically the same thing, but again, this time we're going to do the offset. So we're going to fasten. You choose that same spot on that piece. And we're going to choose the same basic thing on this one. Click. Now again, it's going to have to flip up around the axis. Now, remember they're sharing the same space right now, but I've got to offset it along the Z. Offset. Okay. And we're going to go, remember, it's the first one from the edge to the edge is 15.25. Okay. That way we're 16 inches to the center and to the edge. Let's measure that to make sure. So actually, there's the measure tool. So we're going to go from this little corner right here to this corner right here. Should be 15.25. Or we can measure, let's try that again. Let's see if I can get a midpoint there. I can't, but that's okay. I know that that's the right dimensions. If that's not 15.25, you've got to do that over again. All right, now we're going to make our pattern like we've done before. And we're going to take that second stud that just showed up. Make sure you find which one it is in your browser. Okay, and we're going to make a linear pattern out of it. So we're going to say, I want a linear pattern. What instances do I want? Again, I want that second stud I just made. Okay. The direction you want is the line. We've done this all before. So choose a line that's going in the direction that I want. Whoops, I didn't click. That is not what I wanted to do. Whoops, I accidentally clicked a part instead of the direction. I needed to click on direction first. Now click on a line. Whoops. All right. Looks like I want to go the other direction. We want to go every 16 inches on center. 16. Okay. And it just happens to be going the right direction. If it wasn't, you've just flipped this arrow if it's not going the wrong. And let's see, I don't know how many I need. Let's try 30 and see what happens. Enter will give you a preview. Maybe 31. Is that one sticking off the end? Oh, 31 just works out. Oh, look at that. Now we've got an issue here with that. So I'm going to deal with that in a little bit. So it's going to have to be 30, and we're going to put 2 on the end here. 30. I'll explain that in just a little bit. All right, so we've got 30 studs going along here. And now we are ready to put on the double top plate. So go ahead and do that. You can watch me if you want, or if you know what you're doing, go ahead and do it. I'm going to fasten that corner to that corner. Got to flip it. Oops, no, I want to go the other direction. Now flip it. There we go. Jeez. Okay, that took a little bit of effort. All right, and the other top plate for the double top plate. I'm going to fasten that. All right, here we go. I got that first one, and I'm going to go to the edge of this other one. There we go. Remember, if I can't find anything, I can always say zoom to fit, and it'll bring that back. And this one needs to be, no. I want to revolve. No, flip, and then you kind of have to play around with it sometimes. All right, good deal. And we've got our wall ready to go. Now, let's deal with the other end. I'm going to put in 2 studs. So let's go insert, studs, and we're going to put in 2 studs. 1, 2. Now this is a situation in which you can't just leave that one, a half inch from the end. That doesn't make any sense, right? It won't hit up against the other wall well, but you've got to have something to nail to on there. So we got to have both things. So that's why we're going to double this one up. All right, so we're going to put 1 at the very end and 1 butted up against it. So fasten, that is going to go to here. I think I did that wrong. No, I didn't do it wrong. I just need to flip it around. There we go. And this other one is going to be butted right up against there. So we're going to go here and there. Boy, I don't know why I'm having a hard time. Got to rotate, then flip. There we go. And good. All right, so we've got our wall with that weird double end on the, we're going to call that the right. Okay, so we're looking at the front this way. Now, we need to make room for our windows and everything else. So now you don't have this that I'm about to show you, but in here, in my stuff down here, I've already done some work to figure out where there's a window here, 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 door here, and another window over here. So I've already done a little bit of work to figure out where those things are going to go, and what stud need to be removed for us to be able to put in our framework like we've done before. So let's go back to our front wall. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of those things. Now, let's be smart. Before I do that, there's going to be a back wall that's the same thing, right? So before we do that, let's right click on this tab that says front wall and hit duplicate. And instead of calling it front wall copy 1, let's rename that as back wall. That way we don't have to do all this work over again, right? All right, let's go back to make sure your tab says front wall. And here's what we need to do. we're going to go to this linear pattern that we made and we're going to suppress some of them. So the way it's going to work is I need you to, okay, pay attention here. We're going to suppress number, I wonder if I can do all of them. I need to do 4 and 5. Let's see if I can select all of them at the same time. 10. Yes, I like this. Okay. So you should have 2 studs that you made. And then in the linear pattern, we're starting with stud number 3. Okay. We're going to eliminate the ones where windows and doors are going to go. So we're going to eliminate 4, 5, 10, 15, and 16. Not eliminate, we're going to suppress them. We're going to make them disappear. 15 and 16, and then 20 and 21. That's the door. And finally, the big window, which is 26, 27, and 28. So we've got, again, make sure you have clicked on 4, 5, 10, 15, 16, 20, 21, 26, 27, 28. Now, hover over any one of them and right click, and we're going to hit suppress. And that has made room for our window, 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 door, window. Excellent. All right. All right. Last thing for the day. You want the good news or the bad news? You want the bad news? Okay. The bad news is that we've still got quite a bit to build and quite a few walls to build and everything else. The good news is that we basically prepared ourselves with everything except one window, because we're only using 40-inch wide, 48-inch wide windows. And we've got one more for the bathroom window, which is going to be a high small window. So we're going to do that one next. And then we're kind of ready to go. So we built a window frame for a 48-inch window, a window frame for a 38 or a 40-inch window. And now we're going to do a window frame for a small 24-inch window that's going to be different. It's going to be a little higher. All right, so here we go. I believe I'm going to go to the headers first to make sure that I actually made those. And did I make a header for I made a header for a door and a window and did. Okay, so we need to go to our header, tab, headers, and please turn on your sketch that has all of those in there. And we need to extrude one of them that we didn't do before. Flip the direction. And this is going to go a 24-inch window, which means it's going to be 27 inch and a half jack stud, inch and a half jack stud, right? So we're going to extrude that to 27. Good. And let's remember what, go back to see what you assigned the material with the other ones. Whoa, I'm sorry, assigned appearance, and make this the same appearance that one was, or that the others are. And let's rename this and call this header 24. All right, we're ready to go. Now I need to go to my sills. Let's scroll around. By the way, you've got this little guy at the very bottom corner if it makes that easier to go through and see what we've got, because it's starting to get crowded. So we want to go to plates and sills and make sure I've got a 24-inch sill. So I'm going to go back out of that, and we have a sill 48, a sill 40, and we do not have a sill 24. So let's go turn on this sketch. Same kind of process we've done before. Remember when we made all these? That's why we're doing it now. And we're going to make another extrusion. Pick one. I'm going to go the other direction. We're going to make that 24. Again, let's make that the same appearance as the others. And let's name that sill 24. Now I know we made the stud already. That was one of the first things we did, but I'm going to check to make sure anyway. In the studs, we have a still jack stud bathroom, which is the one we're going to use here in just a moment. Cool. All right, so let's start a new assembly. And we're going to rename that assembly as window frame 24. Remember, we kind of short WND W for window, shorthand it, and then we're going to call it window frame 24. All right, I need to insert some stuff. Studs. We're going to need a 192-inch stud. We're going to need 2 jack studs for the header. All the headers are the same size, so it's always the 2 of those jack studs 81. We need our header. Where is what? There we go. We need our header for the 24 window. And we're going to need that sill. We're going to need that under plates and sills. We need that 24-inch, that sill 24. All right, excellent. I'm missing. Nope, those others are going to come in later. Those other cripples. All right, so now. You should be as good at this now as I am, that we're going to start putting things together. And, using the flip around if it's not in the right spot. Good. Our jack stud is going to go over here. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Good. I don't know what just happened there. I'm going to undo that. I didn't mean to move that. It is a good idea, by the way, to fix something in place. I think I'll just fix the header in place by coming over here, right click and fix. That way other things will move to it instead of it moving to other things. It also matters which order you click in. If you click the thing you want to stay first and then the other thing will move to it. So if I click on the header first, it should stay where it is. And then if I click on this jack stud next, it moves to the header. So that's kind of important. Now, last time, a few people kind of messed up on the offset for the sill. So we got to make sure that we're doing this right. So we're going to do a fasten mate, but we're going to choose where this corner of that jack stud is. And then we're going to choose the corner of the sill. Now, it is important that you know which one you're choosing. I'm choosing the one that I want to be the top of the sill. Okay, now when I flip this around, there, it's in the right spot. Now, we're offsetting it along the Y direction, offset because that's the green direction for 24 inches. Okay, enter. Now, I want to make sure I did that right and I chose the right spots because it needs to be a 24 by 24 opening. So I'm going to say, okay, good. But now use your measure tool down here in the bottom right-hand corner and make sure that from the bottom of the header to the top of the sill is 24 inches. If it's not, you're going to have to go back and fix that last mate that you did, okay, to make sure that they're in the right spot. All right, cool. So we've got this done. We're ready now to start putting our wall together, but we've done enough for the day. So next time we'll start putting that front wall all together. Good job. See you next time.